Let's get into some Milwaukee-related questions. You are a Milwaukee expert. A lot of listeners want to know where to go, where the cool spots are, maybe where some hidden gems are. First one, hidden gem food spot or spots.
So I've been doing spicy food lately. I did a series, I think I'm on the seventh video, where I go into the restaurant and I say, give me the spiciest thing on the menu. And then I get those looks of like, are you sure, white boy? And I was like, yes, I really would. And I have to tell them literally that I want them to make me cry. And that seems to be the magic phrase that they're like, all right, sold. We'll make you cry. And one of the places that it hit me hard was this place called 414. And the reason why I love that this is a hidden gem is the fact that it's in Monktown, on the northwestish side of town, Appleton and Hampton, don't quote me, but I know it's off of Appleton. So that is essentially like a little food court within a grocery store or a market, and they have literally fire in the form of heat that they can give you for food. And they got mild, totally. The guy that gave me the hottest option felt real bad because he could tell I was struggling, which he nailed it. He got exactly what I asked for.
Got good views too, didn't it?
It did pretty well. But he felt so bad. He's like, here's a number one. I want you to take that home. And I was like, I didn't ask for that, but I will certainly eat it. Thank you. And I could tell the difference between the one and what I got was definitely way different.
So for people who don't want to cry,
you can still enjoy it.
It's still a good spot.
It's still a spot to enjoy.
What about cocktail spots? Where are you going?
So another video that I made recently was of a hidden gem cocktail spot, and it's called Edith. And if you don't know it exists, it's very easy to pass right by because they don't have like a signage that's very showy. They've got Edith on the door, and they've got a sandwich sign out on the sidewalk. And if you're not walking by or not really looking for it, it's easy to not notice. It's maybe 2 blocks away from 3rd Street Market Hall. And it is a craft cocktail bar. Typically, they say their clientele, at least when I went there several months ago, was people that were coming for a show, looking for a place to drink before the show, and then they would go. So I got there at like 10:30 and it was empty. But that's because their clientele was going before shows, and at the time that I went, they were still relatively new and people hadn't heard of it yet. I think on Friday nights they do jazz night, so they're certainly increasing in the popularity, and that video did pretty well, so I hope that they're doing pretty well too.
Any favorite date spot?
So if you want to be bougie and show off, there's a date spot that I discovered recently, and it is like one of those like cocktails are like $25. And it's a little expensive, so you just have to know that going in.
We'll do a bougie one and a non-bougie one. Cool. How does that sound?
Yeah, Solomon's at the Trade Hotel.
They have
3 bars at the Trade Hotel. That's next to Fiserv Forum.
Yeah.
And they have Il Cervo on the roof. They've got I forget the first floor bar.
Is it Craft or something? It's some basic
something
name.
Like that.
We'll think of it right when we get off. That's a good spot, though.
That one works, too. And I think that one everyone knows of because as you're walking by, you see it. And then when you're like, oh, I heard they got a rooftop bar, so you know that one. Solomon's is on the 2nd floor. It's easy to miss. And if you're not like going to find this 3rd bar, I literally went to find it. I go around the stairs, go up, and I see where it is, but like still don't see the bar until you come around the corner and you see Solomon's, and you're like, well, this is really tucked away and a pretty cool spot, especially if like they have the lights dim in there when you're going up a little bit later. It's a nice little spot. They got a little fireplace in there. So if you're trying to be bougie and show off, Solomon's at the Trade.
Is it just up the stairs from the first floor?
You can take the elevator.
I have been up there before. Do they have food there too?
Nice.
Or is it just drinks?
I don't remember seeing
good drink
food,
spot for sure.
But Il Cervo upstairs has food, and that I would debatably say is another date spot worth checking out. But one that would be not bougie necessarily would be Santino's Little Italy.
That's a great spot.
It's good if you want to get pizza. That's an easy date option. It's kind of like a throwback in the vibe that they have. You can get a cute little 2-person table tucked away, dim lighting. You can still get that vibe. And I think they have some outdoor seating if the weather's nice. So you've got some options there. And then if you are with somebody that doesn't know that area very well, if like the date's going well, you need a second location, you take them to Barnacle Buds. And I know it's the fish dock or whatever, but like they have good cocktails.
This is the non-bougie date.
This is the non-bougie date.
That's a cool spot.
And it's a cool spot. It's got the outdoor patio that you don't really know of, and you don't find Barnacle Buds unless you know that it's there. You don't accidentally come upon it.
Another cool non-bougie iteration of Santino's, if you want to be even more non-bougie and bring your dog along, Enlightened Brewing next door. Bree and I will go there sometimes when we're with Oakley and pick up a pizza and take it to the brewery, and they've got some good beer over there.
That works too.
What about brunch? You're a brunch guy, so your brunch videos. Anywhere stand out or anywhere people need to try, may not be aware of?
Here's a good one in the sense of hidden gems. It's not that it's truly a hidden place. I think it hides in plain sight. Cafe at the Plaza.
That's a good one. And you're right. That doesn't really make any lists.
You
Not a lot
there,
of people think
like,
of it. It's just like
this?
a classic brunch spot.
You can have the nice classic diner feel. If you just want to go up to the counter and not wait for a table, you can get a table. Or if it's a nice day out, you can sit in the courtyard, which they have. And so you can sit outside, and you obviously can't see a courtyard from the street. It just looks like an apartment complex when you walk by it. And then you go in and you're like, oh, it's got a restaurant in here, perfect for breakfast or brunch.
You just brought up courtyard. What about patio? Any patios that stand out to you?
I've got to plug my friend JC over at Pufferfish, who's got a tiki bar and a patio on the rooftop of Hotel Metro. So if you're looking for a different sort of vibe that's not necessarily the Kimpton Journeyman Outsider, which I know is a very popular rooftop, more centralized in downtown Milwaukee, Pufferfish is a good one. Bridgewater is another good one where it's a newer restaurant. I think it's like a year or two old.
It's a good restaurant.
It's good restaurant,
really
good drinks.
Food. It's a good date spot too.
Good date spot. I would say that's in between bougie and affordable.
Yeah, if you want that upper mid tier.
Yeah. Nice casual. It's nice weather out. They have a I think their claim is the longest waterfront patio in the city, something like that.
Be.
It's pretty long. I would have to take a tape measure.
So it's a Marcus Group restaurant.
Yeah, so that's a decent one to go to for sure.
Gotta give a shout out to our friends at Central Standard too.
The Aviary, yep, the rooftop bar there as well. That's a nice another
good summer spot
for sure.
What about some maybe under the radar small businesses?
So I think the place is called Happy Dough Lucky in Bayview. It is a mini donuts spot.
So I saw your video. Those look delicious.
Yeah, somebody said, oh, I hope you didn't eat every single one. I was like, if you see me take a bite, I'm not spitting it out. I ate one of every single option you saw. I didn't eat the rest of them.
How many were there?
At least a dozen. Maybe 13, 14, I don't know. I can't recall.
They
were just bite-sized.
Okay, that's not too bad.
That's not bad at all. But they all had like interesting garnishes. Garnish, fun word to use on a mini donut, but I don't have a better word for it. There was like a mud cup, or there was a gummy worm on one. There was, I think there was a puppy chow one. Then there was like a blueberry one, a nerds one. There were just so many different versions. I even asked them, I was like, can you make a spicy mini donut? And they can, but they just didn't have it available at that time, which I would go back for a spicy mini donut just to see what that's like. And they have your classic, the powdered sugar, the cinnamon sugar in the mix. But what's interesting about this location beyond food is it's also an arcade. So they have a lot of pinball machines. They have a lot of old school arcade games. So while you're waiting for your donuts to come out, you can play some video games. It gives you a modified version of Up Down, because if you've gone in there, they've got the pin machines and it's 2 floors of gaming. It's not nearly as many games, but it's enough that you would have variety and you wouldn't get bored in the time that it takes for you to get your.
It's kind of like a newer Landmark on the Lanes arcade type. That was a little smaller.
A little bit update. Yeah, it doesn't have like Dave and Buster's style games of like the flashy and get the tokens, but it has.
It's right in Bayview.
It's in Bayview. Yep.
Nice.